wild side.
Take a walk on the wild side.
Presented by Holly Miami.
So hello and welcome. This is Holly's Walk on the Wild Side, the 1984 special. It's a bank holiday, so we're going out to all you lovely gangs. We're also going out on video, so I hope you can see us all, you can hear us all, and we're going to have some rat good fun. Yes, I know, I put some effort into it. Look, I said I was going to, and yes, I was going to come on here without my glasses on so you could see the eye makeup, but unfortunately I now can't see the equipment. So there you go, it's the age, dear. 1984, we'll talk a lot about it as we go on through the show, but for now we'll kick off with something really cool and progressive.
Left speaker check, right speaker check, mic check, banging beats check. Here we go.
Look, just like I start these shows, I always start on the real good progressive stuff, and Agadoo definitely was in the charts in 1984. We did a little bit of work to try and get these all date stamped and all the rest of it and get them in context. So how are all you lovely people? How's your bank holiday going? I am assuming you're having a rat good time. You're not having half as good a time as I'm having. Put it this way, as we were talking in some of the chat rooms last week, the diet and the abstinence has somewhat gone against the board this weekend because it's bank holiday, so we're pushing the boat out a little bit, which is why someone said I can't imagine Holly when she's squiffy. You're about to see it as this show goes on, because trust me love, it took a lot of doing to get this on. I promise I don't normally look like this. Okay, I perhaps do sometimes, but there you go. Hagadoo, we're going to crack on all the 1984 stuff. There is some requests in. Unfortunately we can't take on the fly request tonight because it being a video show as well, we do rather have a lot to do here in the studio, so I hope you enjoy what us and the gangs have chosen for you to listen to from 1984. We had Agadoo, and with something far more up and keeping with what it's supposed to be.
Five, four, three, two, one.
This is Holly Miami in the mix.
So, 1984, I am assuming a lot of you were actually there in 84, I certainly was, and let's try and sort of relive what 84 was all about. The whole idea of this show, and we did a 1976 show going back a few weeks on the last bank holiday, because there was so much good music come out of one year, and 84 is another one of those, as I've explained on the socials tonight. I could have put 3 shows together out of stuff that just came out of 84. So what were you all doing? I've got some little news clips that I've noted down, and we'll read them out. Some of them are funny. I've tried to avoid, you've got to remember in 84 we had things like the miners' strike and all sorts of nastiness like that. Now, the people who know Wildside know that we don't really do serious news, and we certainly ain't going to be doing the nastiness because there's too much of that in the world anyway. So we're going to keep to the lighter-hearted stuff, and I'm going to dodge around. There's some little aspects of 84 that were really good and some that were not so good. So we're going to try and include it all. But what I'm trying to do here is to include the people who were there and take you back to a time where, and as I said on one of the socials tonight, we were talking about pop music. Let's face it, when Stock, Aitken and Waterman came out, they just best part killed pop music stone dead. And it was this period just before all that happened that was sort of a little bit diverse and a little bit different. So we're going to keep up with some upbeat stuff. Like I say, a few of you put some requests in, which we'll play it as we go on, and I will give you deadies as we go. But until then, we had Ray Parker Jr. with his Toastbusters, and we opened up obviously with Black Lace and Agadoo Doo and all that sort of stuff. And let's face it, 84, ooh, Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan.
And now, live on the decks, bringing you the hottest sounds. Let's go.
So 1984. Sorry, I'm getting the levels all too sorted out here because we're streaming out to numerous different areas, including the video feed. Hope you've all found the video feed. All those who want to, it's easy enough. Just hit my site, hollymiami.com, hollymiami all one word.com. The Twitch box is right at the top of the site. Just hit it. You don't need to sign in or anything like that. The pictures should come up, and you should see me in all my glory. Look, we had to put some work in on this. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a trend that I've knocked into this year. I won't be able to do it in August because if you've been following me on the socials today, you'll see that August I've actually got a live gig down in Weston-super-Mare. I'm doing Stars of Time down there on the Sunday and the Monday, and that's involves some costume stuff as well, which I'll flash the picture up a little bit later on once we get into the swing of the evening. So we had Chaka Khan, we had Ray Parker Jr., and you've got to remember things like the Bluebells. I mean, it sounds like it should come out of the 50s, but no, it was there in 84. Trust me, I was there. I know about these things.
Lock it on to the best station on the net. Online. Around the planet on the World Wide Web. Streaming 24/7. Internet radio.
So I've just flashed a picture up into the chat rooms and say, yes, I promise I am wearing a skirt under this lock, because of course you lot can only see me from the boobs upwards, and I did get dressed, honest, I did. Oh, this really is rather strange, and it's all for a bit of fun, and the reason I only do these on bank holiday is it takes me a day to come down off this lot. It really does. You just imagine the studio at Hollyville takes an awful lot of setting up and an awful lot of scratching down. I know you gangs out there take the mix somewhat at my NASA, but it does take a lot of work. But it's a bit of fun, and that's what it's all about. This is entertainment, and however tough stuff is out there, we do try and give all you gangs a bit of a laugh, and that's what it's all about. But more importantly, some of the little news clips I've got, you see, I've printed them out and all that sort of stuff as well. January of 1984. Now, I don't know if you were of an age where you were driving cars. I was just. I was. General Motors ends production of the Vauxhall Chevette after 9 years. Did you have a Chevette? Oh, I did. I thought they were right cool. And if I think about it, no, they were right doggy little old things. But there you go. So we had Young at Heart from, who was that? The Bluebells. First request of the evening, Andy Jones came in quite early on onto the email. He wanted Kenny Loggins and Footloose, and it sounds and looks a bit like this.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Here we go.
I forgot to fade the mic up. I can actually remember that little bit at the end, and we all thought it was right cool. You got to remember, in 1984, I wasn't who I am now, and I remember I used to, I've used this phrase before, I used to watch girls. Yes, I know, I used to watch girls on how the fashions were, and I so wanted to do it then, and all these years later, and now I can. So, Footloose there, Andy Jones suggested that. What you got to remember is, it was only a couple of years away from when John Lennon was actually assassinated. That was 1980, and it sort of came out that, and I don't know whether it's on the back of certain things, Julian Lennon, as far as I know, and all you DJ presenter types will put me right on this, only ever did the one, and I was quite taken with it, and this was it.
Get ready for the wildest experience.
Now, the people who know me and who followed me for a while realise that I come from a musician background, and I've played in bands for many, many years, and I spent most of my life as a bass player, and that's why I now need hearing aids, because 35 years in front of a bass stack does nothing for your hearing whatsoever. But we've covered all these stories. But the early 80s particularly was an ace time to be a bass player, and you heard the lovely slap bass work on Julian Lennon's Too Late for Goodbyes, and that's the sort of thing we all did at the time, and it was right cool. Right, little news clips. A lot of it seems to be car related. I'm not about it. Japanese car maker Nissan signs an agreement with the British government to build a car factory in Britain. I remember this happening. In fact, I've been there since. The landmark deal means that foreign cars will be built in Britain for the first time, with a factory set to be opening in 1986. Oh, years to come. Chancellor of the Exchequer, Nigel Lawson, now catch this because the wording is rather strange, announces that after 13 years, the halfpenny will be demonetised after 13 years. Am I right in thinking the halfpenny was in circulation for like 300 years? Anyway, after 13 years and withdrawn from circulation, and this is a bit relevant to last weekend, Great Britain and Northern Ireland compete at the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, and win one gold medal, which is a damn sight better than we did at Eurovision last week. Right, second request of the evening. Jason Jordan wanted Paul Young, Everything Must Change, and we like that because yet again, ace bass work on this. Ooh, cool.
Great great music all the time.
All the time, especially in 1984, which is the feature year that we are playing out tonight. If you want to see what we look like as well as hearing what I sound like, if you just want to pop over to hollymiami.com and hit the Twitch box at the top of the site there, you'll see... No, perhaps not. It'll frighten you on a Sunday evening. So I hope you lovely people have all, like I said at the opening of the show, all enjoyed the bank holiday so far. I hope you're all out having your Barbies and your fire pits and all the rest of the things that Fire Brigade hate you all doing because you burn the place down. But hey, look, we had a little bit of decent weather today. They did promise us an absolute scorchio. It didn't quite happen that way, but we had some decent weather. So at least we've gotten there. And of course, we've got tomorrow where we can sort of queue up at Argos and go back to doing shopping and stuff like that, because let's face it, that's what we mostly do on bank holidays anyway. But until then, you've got to remember, back in the 80s, do you remember when Sade first came out? Yeah, I know we all called her Sadie, but that was it. When Sadie first came out, it was something a bit, a bit special. It was around at the time I had my first ever CD player. I was a techie freak even then.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
You're about to listen to the hottest sounds. It's the hottest mixtape in the world, and you've got it.
Yeah, I know. Let's get some video jingles. So I'm going to sit there pretending to listen to the jingles. So as we say, it's a bit of a party tonight. We're all partying, and the abstinence and the diet has gone by the board. So I wish all my gangs a wonderful bank holiday. I hope you've got something nice and cold by the side of you to toast the bank holiday with. And we're just going to have, hey, we're going to party here. And now, I know a lot of the people who follow me are DJs and presenters in your own right. So you'll understand this. Obviously, I've got a backdrop behind me because of the video. So I got nowhere to put this glass other than on the desk. You just know what's going to happen next. Yes, I think it was the late great Terry Wogan who was famous for wiping out 250 grand's worth of BBC equipment by tipping a cup of coffee into it. Well, I'm going to do the same with a glass of wine. Right, the lovely Mike Jones. We were talking earlier on today, and he decided that he wanted to suggest a Queen track. I Want to Break Free, out in '84. This one, Mike, is for you.
Hit after hit, all day long. This is the home of the best music throughout your workday.
I imagine all the guys in Queen had an absolute ball filming that video, even though the Americans didn't understand it and banned it and all sorts of stuff like that. There's one thing I've got to say, and I always say whenever I play that as a video, Roger Taylor, you just did that too well. Look, as a trans woman, I know about these things. I can spot this stuff. Queen, I Want to Break Free then, especially for Mike Jones, and something I can remember actually playing in the bands around '84, which is this next one, Matthew Wilder, Break My Stride. Nice bouncy number, very bass-centric and very me as I was at the time.
Internet radio at its best.
It most certainly is. Look, I got too many mouses to play with here. Who was that woman muscling in the middle of my video on my show? Look, there's only room for one presenter here. It'll be handbags at dawn, I think. That's the trouble when you sort of blag stuff off YouTube and off the internet and stuff just to do shows like this. You don't know what you're blagging. And we fall foul of it all. Sort of the funniest story ever was, there's a certain song, it's a beautiful South song called Don't Marry Her, Have Me. Many years ago, I was playing for a radio station where the station managers actually listened to what we did and was particularly... Put it this way, I didn't know at the time that there was a blue version with naughty words, and I'd been playing it out for like 10 years, and I didn't even know. Because as a presenter, I mean, all you DJs and presenters out there understand this, you don't actually listen to the music, you use that bit to line other stuff up and do other things and pour a drink and touch your lippy up and all the important things. No, I searched through my record collection, and 7 out of the 8 copies of that were the blue ones, so you've just got to be careful of these things. Right, next track coming up, Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A few people have dropped on this one because it's so 84 and it's so what we do here on Holly's Walk on the Wild Side. But the absolutely delightful Davina Morris, who, let's face it, is probably my most prolific follower on all my socials. I can't put anything on the socials that this girl isn't there within seconds answering and making comments and stuff like this. So I'm dedicating this one to her because she decided this was for her.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun. All that partying around. Well, I always say this quite a lot when videos come on like that. When do these people ever have to go to work? You know, they're all up and about partying. I used to do a video country show some years ago on Sky TV, and there was a lot of the modern Nashville where people were all up having barbecues and partying and sitting on the tailgates of their pickup trucks and stuff like that. Did nobody ever have to go to work then? Probably not. Cyndi Lauper certainly didn't, because of course she'd made it famous by then and didn't need to go to the factory like the rest of us do. So, little news clips. April of 1984. PC protesters evicted from Greenham Common. Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp. Do you remember Greenham Common? It's an industrial estate now. Now, something that's really significant. I actually saw this live on television. The comedian Tommy Cooper, 63, collapses and dies on stage from a heart attack during a live televised show, live from Her Majesty. I saw that, and we all thought it was part of the act. The poor guy just keeled over, and the curtain went down, and we said, oh, that was a funny bit. No, it wasn't funny at all. And more importantly, Austin Rover launches its new Montego four-door saloon. Did you have a Montego? I did. A four-door saloon, which replaces the Austin Ambassador, which was, if I remember rightly, another version of the Wedge, and the Morris the Towel that is derived from. Oh, there was some rubbish around there. Luckily, the music was a little bit better, and especially for my Yam Yam followers, even though this isn't from the Black Country, the UB boys were Brummies, and we all know that's different. Yes, I won't go into trying to explain the difference in the accent. We haven't got time tonight, but I'll do it on another show. Yes, a little bit of UB because they were around then.
And on the go on your mobile phone, we're the internet's best choice.
I have no idea whatsoever what happened there. Well done, UB40. A video without a video. A video without pictures. It was sort of a non-EO or sort of an audio. But there you go. You had what they sounded like with their cherry O, baby. Oh, it's all getting on top of me. Right, Andy wanted another request. He suggested Van Halen with Jump, and it was also typical of the time.
Station with the best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Yeah, okay, we got the best music. Yes, shut up, jingle. Whose show is this? Van Halen with Jump, the epitome of hair rock at its time, with the cement mixer bass rhythm and the leaping around the stage, flicking your hair like that. You see, I can do it. I can do hair rock. All I need is a guitar, and I'm well away. So Andy suggested that one. There's no great surprise there. Andy liking his rock music. But you got to remember, there's all sorts of other things floating around, of which Sister Sledge, which we all know was backed by Nile Rodgers and his one guitar riff. Yeah, how to make the whole of a living off one guitar. Okay, it was a good guitar riff, but making a whole living off one, which he did. This one is incorporated in Sister Sledge.
It's another Radio Rewind.
Radio Rewind. Radio Rewind. Radio Rewind. Radio Rewind. Radio Rewind.
Look, what's the point in having all of this Sventis kit if I can't actually use it to touch me lippy up? Look, a girl's got to do these things. What we have there, Sister Sledge, Lost in Music with Nile Rodgers and his one guitar riff. We're going to carry on there. Oh, the next one up would actually prove that my hair was authentic for 1984, Lamal, A Never Ending Story, and he's wearing exactly the same sort of thing. But firstly, the Thames Barrier, designed to protect London from the floods, is opened by the Queen. And the Queen officially opens, she must have been busy in May of 84, officially opens a new terminal at Birmingham International Airport. We all knew it as Samal Airstrip at the top end in Solihull there. Birmingham, the terminal has been used since the start of last month, replacing the original terminal that opened in 1939. Look, mate, last time I went to Birmingham Airport, I think I went to the 1939 one. Oh, it's a bit shabby these days. 84 was a long time ago.
You're listening to the station with the best mix of music.
You most certainly are, Lamar, with his Never Ending Story. That was from a film, if I remember rightly. There was a bit of a plethora around the early 80s of film music that made it into the charts. Funny little story, which I've regaled no end of people with, whether they want to or not, because that's just how it goes. 1984 was the last time I ever went to a cinema. No, I'm quite proud of that. And it was to see Gremlins. You see what I mean? Oh, you stick with us, kid. We'll live the high life here. So, another request. Jason wanted another one. He wanted Depeche Mode. People are people from the era. And this, sir, is for you.
Your station for the best new music and classics.
We do them all here. I don't know if you fancy popping over, if you're not already, popping over to the video channel and having a little look at what we look like. There are a number of people already watching us. One is the absolutely my favourite carpenter guy, Mr. Martin Gig, who's watching us on the video evening. We've been chatting about all sorts of different things and all sorts going on. And he sat there ensconced in front of me making a complete tart of myself as I do. Right, I'm going to jump the order a bit now. I was going to put Fiction Factory in next, but the next one is something that actually got suggested a couple of shows ago. Obviously, Slade are a band that are more synonymous with the 70s and the 80s, but they were still performing, particularly performing live. And as you're well aware, I've played some Slade live tracks, and they're far better live. I've dug out a lovely video from '84, Slade Run Runaway, and just catch the back line on. It's only a small stage they're playing on, but it's absolutely packed. These guys had they were renowned for having the loudest backline and PA of their time. And have a little look. It's going to be loud, so step away from your speakers slightly. Have a little look at the sorts of stuff they're playing through. It so reminds me of being in the bands.
'80s classics. '80s classics.
Yes, I know it was only a video set, but if that was for real, I counted just over 1,500 watts of backline there. Now, if you can imagine, if you play in a band or you do any DJing or anything like that, stick that in your average British Legion club and stop the glasses falling off behind the bar. Oh, I've played in bands like that, which is, as I explained before, which is why my hearing is shot to pieces now. So there you go, Slade was still rocking it on well in the 80s, but more importantly, back to the news clips, July, Robert Maxwell buys the Daily Mirror for 113.4 million. I bought one today, it was only £1. But more importantly, this is going to crack you up. This followed in the news clips. The general interest magazine Titbits. Nope, it really did exist. I can remember it. Closes after 104 years. Why? Robert Maxwell couldn't buy that one. You see, it all happened in '84. It's a different world back then. You just got to have been around. 80s flashback. The Weather Girls with its Raining Men and some of the most bonkers dancing you've ever seen on a video. Oh, it was all crazy. It really was. August 1984 news clips. We do some serious things here. It's all there is. The news. Do. I have a jingle, but never mind about that. Barefoot South African runner Zola Budd controversially granted British citizenship earlier this year. Collides with Mary Decker in the 3,000 metres final at the Olympics. Neither finishing as medalists. Do you remember that? Do you remember the conspiracy theories that went on for absolutely ever, all to do with that? And people were discussing why and why it all went wrong and all the rest of it. And really, there's probably nothing as bizarre as, I don't know, they all got drunk the night before, she couldn't run straight or something. I have no idea, but let's keep it to 1984. Let's keep it to the music. Let's keep it up tempo. Let's keep it in keeping.
We're the internet's best choice.
We most certainly are. Wham there with Freedom from Top of the Pops and all the chanting and shouting in the background. Dear Top of the Pops producers, can you get control over your crowd and tell them to shut up when they're playing on my show? Of course, in 1984, they didn't realise they'd be playing on my show in 2011. But hey, look, don't they know who I am? Let's get all this in order. We're going to crack on with something now. Bronski Beat were quite on the go at the time, and their version of Why? I don't know, just because it is.
taking you back in time as we rewind the music.
Bronski beat with why, so back to the news stories. 1984, some of us were there. Now this another one is aimed towards my Yam Yam gangs who followed me for a long time now. 1984, you've got to remember, plans to expand the urban enterprise zone in Dudley, West Midlands are approved. Developers Don and Roy Richardson. Now, as an aside, anybody who's ever worked in the contracting game in the Midlands have worked for these people. I've worked for them personally for a while, and it was only for a while. Don and Roy Richardson, nearest you get to gangsters in the West Midlands. Oops, there's the roof missing off my flat tonight. Get the go-ahead to build a retail park and shopping mall on the main part of the site, and we all know what that turned into. The first tenants are expected to move into the site next year, and development is expected in the next 18 months. So Merry Hill was born in 1984, lovely people out there, and it's still just as dire now. But most importantly, and this is the really important news stories now, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, his first broadcast on ITV, becoming the most successful children's TV programmes of all time since Postman Pat 3 years previous. And now this one will strike. The Bill, a police TV drama, airs for the first time on ITV. I actually saw the first ever episode. I was in a hotel in Heathrow doing a training course for the job I was on at the time, and it came on. That airs for the first time on ITV. It debuted last year as a pilot show called Wooden Top. Get away with that these days. And the last episode... When the last episode was shown in 2010, it was the longest running police procedural in British television history. So there you go, people. The Bill was born in 1984. I told you it was a bit of a special year. It just all happened.
We're not magicians. We just put magic into our music.
So there we had Madge tarting it about in Venice. Look, back in 84, that's all she did. She was sort of never mind. We all flaunted about when we need to. Right, we're moving into November now. The General Synod of the Church of England supported ordination of women as deacons, but not as full priests, we all know where that went. British Telecom shares go on sale. Did you buy Telecom shares? Were you one of the new breed of share buyers? Everybody else was. It's on sale in the biggest share issue ever. 2 million people, 5% of the adult population, buy shares, almost doubling the number of share owners in Britain. Was it you? Did you buy Telecom shares? No, me neither. 36 of Britain and Ireland's top pop musicians gather in a Notting Hill studio to form Band Aid and to record a song, Do They Know It's Christmas, in order to raise money for famine relief in Ethiopia. And we all know where that went. And no, I won't be playing it on the show because it is a Christmas song. And, well, you know, Christmas songs do belong in Christmas. You know my ideas on that one. But yes, it did happen in 1984. And yet again, I remember where I was when all that was announced. You see, I really was there.
Without you, this radio station wouldn't be here. Without us, it would just be... Thanks for tuning in and making it possible.
What was that bloke with the blonde crew cut in Alphaville all about? Was he sort of some derivative of Bez from Happy Mondays? You just stood there and did nothing. Oh, I've played in bands with people like that. Right, we got a few more sort of 84-ish stuff now that we're going to... we got about 10 minutes left on the show. We've got to absolutely epitomise 84 because there was plenty of stuff. And as I've said at the top of the show, I could have done 3 shows on the back of the music that was around this 1 year. But there we go. Another one, Tracy Ullman. Obviously, they don't know, obviously, because we just do.
Yeah, I know, you have an iPod. But when did you last change the music on it?
A week? A month? 2 months, maybe more.
We change our music so you don't have to.
Well, not today we don't because it's all 1984, but there you go, it's an 84 special show. Tracy Ullman camping it up in the supermarket with a nice cameo by Paul McCartney there. Obviously had naff all else to do in 84, although he did actually bring one out and I did have it in the list, but I've skipped over it. The Frog Chorus, remember that one? That was actually in the list to be played, but it looks like we're going to run out of time and can't do that, so we'll keep on with the more upbeat stuff now so that you lovely people can have a bop around your living rooms or your patios or wherever you're watching or listening. Holly's Walk on the Wild Side. We hope you enjoy a little bit of high energy.
High
Speaker. Check. Right speaker. Check. Mic. Check. Banging beats. Check. Here we go.
Evelyn Thomas with High Energy, and for all you muso types out there, if you ever wondered where Stock, Aitken and Waterman got the one and only backing rhythm they used on every single hit they ever invented, that was it. That was 1984. They came out in the late 80s and into the 90s, and they nicked it. They nicked the High Energy backbeat, so that's how it was. So it looks like we've got to the end of this special edition of Holly's Walk on the Wild Side. I hope you enjoy what we've dealt your way tonight. I hope you enjoy our little foray into 1984, and I hope it's brought back some memories for the people who were there and some enlightenment to the people who weren't. Let's face it, it was a good time to be around. It was certainly a good time to be out and about, and in my case, it was a brilliant time to be playing in the bands and on stage, and we shall never see the likes again. So next week, Walk on the Wild Side is back to its standard format. It'll be no video, it'll just be the standard radio outputs, and I can have a little bit of an easier time of the whole thing. So it just remains for me, Holly Miami, to wish you all the best for the coming week, and just to simply say bye-bye. I shall be playing out with the ZZ Boys. What else would you do at the end of a show? The radio feeds I will cut on time. The video feed will run to the end of this track, so the people watching the Twitch will catch this one right to the end. ZZ Top with Give Me All You Lovin'. And I will simply say to all you lovely people, all you lovely gangs, I'll catch you all again next week. Bye-bye.